All right, guys, we've got sales again. I know the previous sales video performed shit, but I'm gonna put this out there anyways because I hope someday it reaches somebody that needs sales, like whatever sales input or how to go about things. Also, in terms of my channel, the videos going forward are going to be divided into like more business heavy, which is talking about more about entrepreneurship and all of that. And then also at the same time, more like life in general. How do you reach like the phase where you're able to transition into getting into business and all of those different things. So there's going to be two parts. So if you're somebody that's here for this part, then go ahead and skip this video. If you want to learn like skills of sales, which is a very important skill in any field of life, like whether you want to become a businessman or an entrepreneur or not, crucial. Stick around for the rest of this video and more such videos that will be following this pattern. Okay, so the first point is in a business, it's absolutely essential to have multiple sources of lead gen and revenue. And that's simply because if one source of lead gen and revenue gets crushed, you have another source to back it up. Simple as that. And even in terms of lead gen for that matter, like if one source gets crushed, you have another source to get leads. So it's not just to generate money, but it's even for marketing and to get leads and social media and all of those different things. I think one simple example that I can give for this is like content creators, right? They create content on Instagram, they create content on YouTube, they create content on their newsletter, and they have all these different platforms. Why is that? Yes, one is they have more sources of revenue and they're able to grow on different platforms and there's different metrics and all of that. But what's really important is all these different platforms, it's a backup. In case tomorrow, like for whatever reason, Instagram deletes one of these content creators from their platform, they have YouTube as a backup. Or they have their newsletter as a backup. That's why even a lot of content creators, they suggest getting your like viewers onto a newsletter simply because in case tomorrow all these platforms go haywire or something happens and you're chucked out of all of them, you still have an email list where people can still get in touch with you. You can still reach your audience, which is why I have my own newsletter. Very blunt, but go ahead and check it out. I post like more story-based, more easy reads and stuff about what I'm doing in my life and all of that. You can go ahead and check it out. I'll have it linked down in the description. But yeah, in terms of business, like Conglomerates is a really good example, right? Like they start in one sector and they spread out into all of these different sectors, and that's how they conquer the entire market. And that's because in case one falls or one drops or for whatever reason, like AI comes into the picture or something and replaces that sector, they have other sectors to back them up. One really good example of this is it's both like a business thing and a marketing thing. It's Red Bull, right? So what Red Bull does is they have all these different sports clubs and teams and activities that they're very much involved in and sponsor very heavily. But at the same time, they have their drink. Like fundamentally, Red Bull is the drink. That's what it started out as, but not anymore. Right now, Red Bull has so many different platforms and sources of income. And that's like, I mean, logically you think about it, right? Red Bull, a drink, is like, it has caffeine in it. It has all these, it has sugar and it's very unhealthy. And with the current like health boom that's happening in the world, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's a huge likelihood that a lot of these brands, I don't know, will probably disappear in the coming years, or we'll have to wait and watch because of the growing health market. But there's something that's going to happen to them. So by diversifying their sources of income and becoming a business bigger than just the soda that they sell, they basically are bulletproofing themselves in like the grander scheme of things. Now, let's talk about our sales strategies. If you guys want to know what sort of business I'm doing, I'll have a video show up here where I speak about what my business is. Go ahead and check it out. But we are in the phase where like we have to somehow get clients in because there isn't word of mouth that's happening yet. And we have only like 2-3 clients, and that was before we were an established business. So in this phase, we have to do a lot of reach out and have to somehow try to get clients, right? And sometimes that can be embarrassing, which is something that I spoke about in my previous video. I'll have it show up over here. Go ahead and check it out. But in terms of us, what we're doing right now, we have 2 channels of how we plan on generating leads and converting sales, hopefully. And they are workshops and paintings of people's homes. So our clients are HNIs and UHNIs, right? These people don't just want to talk to us. They want to gain some value from like whatever interaction or conversation they have. And it makes sense. They're busy people, right? They don't just want to you can't just sell them something for the sake of selling. their time is very important to them for a lot of reasons. And it's very obvious and it makes sense. So when we like approach these clients, we need to give them some sort of value. So the first thing that we do in the paintings of homes is I've been going to like these rich areas across Bangalore, and we go in front of their homes and we sort of make a rough draft of a painting, and then we click a picture of it and we make it like in full detail with like watercolor. We paint it and we try to make it as aesthetic as possible, and we give it to them. And this is sort of making it a value add for them, where they have this creation of their home, which is beautiful and it's in a painting and it's fun to watch and all of that. And at the same time, they have a reason to get in conversation with us. So before, when I was doing door-to-door sales, the biggest reason like people would just walk away and ignore me was because like they have no reason to stop and talk. Again, these are HNIs, UHNIs. They have no reason to talk to some random kid. And it makes total sense, not blaming them at all for it. So by giving them a painting, they have a reason to approach me itself, like instead of me having to reach out to them. Although I am giving the painting to them, but still there's still more incentive in it. So that's something that's been working out. We did like a trial round where we ran out 6 paintings. And out of those, 4 people responded well, and we're currently having conversation with them about like what we can do. And it's again very like, we're not trying to sell them anything. We are paint me, and yeah, we do this. So the narrative is again very, we're trying to be very clear about what our angle is. But in terms of the business, like we just putting ourselves out there. We're getting in touch with these people. We're having these conversations. And it's very important for us also because we can get to know what these guys are thinking. Like knowing our customer is very important, right? So that's one form of sales that we're doing. The second is workshops. So we conducted a clay modeling workshop in Good Earth, which is this like apartment complex type area in Bangalore. And they have, again, HNIs, UHNIs, people that are doing well for themselves. And this workshop had like, it had subtle elements of Paint Me in it. Like we create a story, we recreate a story in the form of a clay model. So doing stuff like that, again, we're having these conversations with them. We're understanding the impact of stories in their life. We're understanding the impact of art in their life. We're understanding how important it is to have art in your home, which is core to what Paint Me does, like a story of your like experience converted into art and having that in your home. So we're able to test all of these different things, and it's a huge win-win because even if we don't convert a sale, we're still dealing with these customers. We're speaking to them. We're understanding how do they think about all of this, and whether our business is viable, what do we have to tweak, and all of those different things. Now, there is one caveat to this whole thing. And that is, while starting out, it's very important to double down on what's working. So, for example, we did 6 paintings, and out of those 4, like converted into some sort of conversation or leads or good, healthy leads, you can say. So, instead of focusing on like, okay, let's try 10 different other forms of generating leads and, getting in touch with people, we're just focusing on doing this, but at scale, making things more efficient so that we can like get more, get it done faster, get it out faster, speak to more people and have it like flow a little bit more smoothly. Instead of like going like, okay, no, maybe we could try this, maybe we can try this because it's working. So it's another very important thing. Focus in terms of sales also is like very important. So a lot of entrepreneurs, like I said, like you have these all like diversified ways of generating leads and stuff. That is when you grow and become big. But when you're like in a nascent stage like we are, it's very important to focus on what's working. So we're focusing on doubling down on the workshop and on the painting things because we're able to get in touch with these guys. Now, like I said, making the process of generating these leads efficient is something that we can iterate upon. Instead of trying different things, what we have worked, how do we improve it to work better? And how do we improve it to work smoother in terms of the number of time we have to spend on it and how fast we can roll it out, which is again time itself. I don't know why I said it twice, but basically try to get things out there faster and better. So there is 2 points over there. But so for example, in like with Paint Me, like, the house paintings that we're doing, I have got like 2 people like who are interning under us to like, I've delegated it to them to do it, which is really hard for me. I'm going to be talking about one of my videos coming up soon, but delegation is something that I struggle with because of how much of OCD I have and all of that. But it's very important again. So we're trying to make it efficient in that way. But at the same time, we're also we're iterating and trying to improve. Like we put some certain text behind. We're trying to improve. Okay, what can we get them to have like better conversations, meaningful conversations with them? So That's another thing to make the whole thing better. So these are few things that you can do to improve the whole thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to jump into a different thing and try to generate sales or leads in a different way. Although sales is very important, with our business, we've been very clear from the start. Our ideal goal is to have zero sales and marketing. So ideally, our word of mouth should be so strong that any customer that we painted, they should go out and spread it like an evangelist basically to everybody, so that they become like our sales and marketing channels, right? And people come to us through them. That's the ideal goal. That's the long-term vision. We're obviously not there yet. That's the goal for any business that can like exponentially grow. It's called network effects. Basically, it's like I've spoken about this in my previous video, but it's crucial to have network effects in a business, because those are the business that can grow exponentially, because you don't have to invest in sales and marketing. You can just like leave this be as it is and just focus on your product and your service, whatever way that you're trying to develop. So speaking of which, referrals is something that we might be trying. We have like 2 clients, right, that we've worked with. So we're trying to get them to recommend people to us. In fact, just today I spoke to one of the clients and asked them if you could refer some people to us who want something like this. Because these people have experienced our service. They've experienced the impact of what we have to provide. Them going out and reaching out to people who might have interacted with this painting too is going to be much more likely to convert into a customer than somebody that's like a cold lead who has no idea about what we do or the impact that we can bring. So referrals, again, a huge bonus. Going back to your existing customers, asking them, can you please recommend like 2 people, 3 people, and they can either give them your number, give you their number, or they can also go out and reach out to them and ask them, would you be interested in something like this? So that's the end of this video, guys. Again, I'm going to emphasize sales is a very important skill. You can use everything that has been taught here in a lot of different formats in every stream of your life. And the reason I emphasize so much is because I know the amount of views these videos get, but I'm going to create it out there. I'm going to create it anyways, because like I mentioned several times, we're not really that focused on the views and the growth and all of that. We're just doing it out of goodwill. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you gained some value. If you did, go ahead and like this video. And yeah, that's the end of it. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And until then, bye.